This is my video for CIS113 SQL Databases, Class 11. This week we started learning about SQL Developer, so we got some links on how to download and install it and actually connect to the database. Connecting, I think, was probably one of the hardest parts. I had tried to get SQL Developer early on in this class and struggled quite a bit with that and was never able to figure it out. I didn't realize that this initial XE database was the actual one that we connect to when we use SQL+. So I was trying to create my own connections and stuff, and none of it made sense. And then even once I realized this was the right one, I didn't realize that to connect as sys as sysdba, I needed to only put sys here and then use the role button and then use the same password I always use. So it was a little confusing at first, but a couple of the links that were provided in the homework and then following those to some other resources helped quite a bit. Once we were able to connect, you can obviously go through and see all the tables, like the baseball parks one that we made, and then all of the ones that are just made in every database basically. Then you even have views, indexes, all of the different parts of a database. So just going through and showing all the different things that we can do. Creating a table doesn't actually require going through and using the commands to do it. Instead, you can just right click and click new table. We'll just put it in the same system that we're using right now. You just do just the AAA to make it a bit easier to find. I haven't used a lot of the data types before, so I thought a 16 number data type for unique ID and making it a primary key. Obviously this is just made up, so it doesn't really matter. System and varchar, so you can put whatever you want, and task, this is like a basic idea, and you'd probably want none of those to be null. So basically just a little system, little table that has a unique ID, what system you'd be using. It would be like Windows or Mac or a totally different system. Then a task of just what you're going to do. Then you make the table, and then you can immediately find it right here. You can see the columns. Obviously there's no data, but you can insert a row pretty easily. I won't bother doing that, but it's not too hard. And then dropping a table is also pretty easy. You just right click on the table, go down to table again, and then click drop. And then you can just do that, and it's gone. And save that or whatever. And then from there, some of the other skills we were supposed to do. Creating users is also very easy in this. You scroll down to the other users in the connections section. Just right click, create user, and then username, password, all of these different options for default table spaces. Then you can grant roles and privileges. I'm not sure exactly what quotas are for. SQL just kind of seems to be some basic text that comes out from when you select all of these different things. But since I've put nothing, so it's test name and password. Oops. And then, grant a couple of roles, random privileges. Then you go to SQL and you see that all of these things are written out for you. So it's definitely a lot easier to do so many different tasks in SQL Developer because it writes all of these things out for you, and you don't have to waste time remembering exactly how it's formatted or anything like that. It's just done. One of the other important things is creating reports, which down in this little section I've already made one, but all you do is right click, user defined reports, and new. Oops, that's not the right one. New report. And you can do a name, what style you want to do, the description of it, and then in SQL you decide what you're going to put. So I already made one. not actually connected. And then all this one actually is just a select all from the baseball parks one that we've been working on. So it just prints everything out for us. Obviously, there's so many different things you can do with reports that are a lot more useful, like having it set to, every day you make a new report to show something. Obviously, a bunch of different options. And with SQL Developer, we can do everything that we've been able to do with SQL Plus, and probably a few more things, just because it's so much easier to work with. Being able to find what you want and see all of the information in it, like being able to go to a table, you see all the columns, the data types that are there. You can go to the data and see every row that's in it. Just makes it a lot easier to work with in general.